Hey Saners, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a great week so far. This is the round 10 match preview. We take on the West Coast Eagles, back to our usual graveyard slot of 4:40 p.m. Sunday, 18th of May, at Optus, where we've had a pretty good record against the Eagles, albeit a couple of close calls in the last 3 or 4 years, but we've gotten the job done. The last time we did play them was at Marvel Stadium late last year, and we took it home by 72 points. Prior to that, it was a 14-point win, 8-point win. And in this season, we have won one of our last 5, which is not great. One win being against Fremantle, West Coast crosstown rival. And West Coast obviously is the main sticking point of their season, and maybe why so many Sainers are a little bit nervous, but they are 0 wins, 0 draws, 9 losses, sitting rock bottom on the AFL ladder. Their last couple of weeks hasn't looked too bad, 50 points, I think it was against Hawthorn, 32 against Melbourne, and only the 2-point loss to Richmond at the MCG. Had a big chance to win that game late. Great rundown tackle by Tom Brown. So it's, to me, I know we are all nervous, and that makes total sense because I've always said the longer a team goes winning, they're closer to their loss, and the longer a team goes losing, they're closer to their win. So are West Coast going to go this season without winning a single game? I don't know. But people think this might be the week. I don't think this is going to be the week. I know that they've got Oscar Allen back, which is not great because we've lost Dougal Howard. So, of course, this sort of stuff happens this week. Even TDK and Blake Acres are out for Carlton this week. So, when we play teams, they get players back. And when we don't play teams, they suddenly lose players. So, that's just our luck. We have got an extended bench. 5 p.m. is the cutoff. So, that's when the team will actually be locked in. Right now, we've got McLennan to replace Liam Stocker, I believe, in the back pocket. Mason Wood back from concussion. So, I think that's a lock. Toby Travalia, Ari Schoenmaker, and Harry Boyd. So there's a bit of size there. I don't know who would be. I think like for like, you probably put Caminiti back. Maybe bring in Mason Wood and McLennan. And maybe Collard stays the sub with Dukes and Liam Stocker to miss. So we'll see at 5 p.m. But West Coast, Oscar Allen, Bo Allen, Clay Hall, Jack Williams, Archer Reed out. And it's Ruben Ginby's 50th game. And he's a pretty good young kid. So have to watch him in his 50th game. West Coast's main weapons, you'd have to think, are Jake Waterman, obviously just the number one forward for them. He's averaging 2 goals a game. And Jamie Cripps is pretty good, averaging still 1.4 goals a game, Jamie Cripps. So I still hate that we got rid of him all these years later. Matt Owies, new recruit. And obviously Harley Reid is a big talking point anytime a team plays West Coast, to be honest. Tim Kelly as well in the guts. There's a couple of players there that you're going to have to keep an eye out for. Liam Baker, obviously from Richmond, their star recruit, uses the ball really well off halfback, does roam through the midfield. But I mean, if you're looking at stats and you're looking at the season so far, we should be winning this game. We average maybe 50, 60 more disposals, about 40 more kicks, 20 more handballs, 6 more inside 50s. We use the ball better. We're more efficient going inside 50. We win 8 more clearances. So, we've been coming up against teams that we struggle in the guts and in clearances and stoppage clearances. But we're actually coming up against a team this week that we can dominate in there. Clearances overall 37-29. Stoppage clearances 26-19. And centre clearances about 12-10. So anytime we have won the clearance count this year, I sound like a broken record, but we've won the game and won the game comfortably. So if you're going by these stats and the season averages so far, if we do deliver that on Sunday, we win the game. I just personally think that, despite losing to the Blues, our pressure was good. We generated chances. And I feel like if our pressure is equally as good, we're going to generate more chances against the Eagles because we're going to get more stoppage domination. Obviously, Rowan Marshall, I think Jack McRae's one that could get off the leash in this type of game. I don't see a player that's going to go to him and keep him under his 30. I think he's just going to roam free. And if that means that Nasir and Sinks also roam free off half back, and we can dominate possession like the stats have alluded to, like we've done in our best wins where we've really owned the football. And in portions of last week even, we tried to own the football. We just didn't maximize it, and we probably didn't go when we needed to go. I think we'll be a little bit more adventurous in this game. I can't see us chipping it around and playing panic football. I think this will be very much a free-flowing game. Maybe that invites a little bit of pressure, but if that means we're kicking more goals and putting more scoreboard pressure on, which you need to when you travel, Optus Stadium, big crowd, West Coast fans turn up. Good on them. They turn up. They lose every week. They still turn up. They're loud. And if that happens and they get on a bit of a roll, Jake Waterman takes a few marks, Harley Reid's bursting out of the contest, that's when it's a little bit of a panic stations, but that happened, I think, late last year against West Coast. And then in the back half of that game, we sort of took them to the cleaners. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's, a little bit of an arm wrestle for a half. And then we hopefully, with a little bit more experience and a little bit more class around the ground in general, I'd like to think we're a 2 to 3 goal, 2.5 goal better team per quarter. What's that? That's a 10 goal win. If we play some good football, we beat them by 12 goals last year. And I think we're a better team now. I think we're more attacking. We're probably lacking in the height department. I know Tim Membry had a big game in that game last year. But Cooper Sharman, Mitch Owens, Rowan Marshall can drift forward probably in this game a little bit more than he has in previous weeks because he's been up against some good rucks this year already. I think we should be winning this game. So I'm not going to come into this in panic mode. I fully expect us to win. And honestly, if we don't, that's a major worry. Despite where we're at in this sort of development phase, how young we are still a better team than West Coast, and you can't really put any excuse on losing to this team. Every other team that's come across them, taken the job. Richmond beat them. Carlton spanked them. We need to be, using this as a little bit of a percentage opportunity. You can't be taking them lightly, and I'm not going to be taking them lightly at all. No disrespect to them, but we've won 4 games. They've won none. They've been smashed a few times. And Optus Stadium or not, we need to be going there with the attitude of just getting the win and coming home. And I think a lot of us, as much as we'd like a 10 to 12 goal win again, I think we'd take a 5-6 goal win comfortably, control the game, never really give them a sniff, and have no injuries. I think we'd all take that as well. So West Coast aren't without players that can worry us. Jake Waterman, on Kel Wilkie perhaps. Oscar Allen's a bit of a worry, although I don't think he's played forward much this year. I to be honest, I haven't watched him closely, but I don't think he's been as dominant as what he's been in previous seasons. So he might be a bit of a mismatch across the ground, but our defense in general has been pretty good. We handled Mackay and Curnow in patches last week. They still kicked 6 between them, but we did keep Carlton to 11 goals. I dare say if we keep West Coast to around 11 goals, and they don't have the forwards that Carlton do, that we'll win the game. So I don't think too much needs to change. I think selection-wise, kind of surprised Zach Jones didn't get a look in despite his performance. It just feels like a game that Zach Jones could absolutely dominate, just that 1 or 2 games a year we give him. And I think West Coast away, you could make an argument that, you don't need to be rushing a Toby back. Maybe wait till Gold Coast the week after, but maybe we play Toby against an inexperienced midfield like West Coast. I don't know, but I think regardless, if we lose, it's not going to come down to selection. There's no reason, there's no formation we could pick that I would say that screwed us. Dougal Howard or not, Zach Jones or not, inexperience versus experience, we should be going there and getting the win. So that's my approach to this game. I realize that this can all be very much clipped if we lose, but surely, Sainers, surely we get the job done on Sunday night. We do need to. We've got Gold Coast next week. They look good last night against Hawthorn. I know in Melbourne they struggle, but they look good. And then we've got Melbourne after that. If we can go to 5-5 with a bit of a percentage boost, if we can get it anywhere near 100 and be 5-5 after 10, absolutely we're on track. Back end of the year looks good. Fixture looks good. Opens up. I think we only travel twice after the bye. A lot of Melbourne games at Marvel, obviously. Season can open up very quickly at that point. But we cannot be dropping games like this. Not after last week. Need a response. Get the 4 points. Come home. And let's get to 5-5. So on that note, Saners, put in the comments and let me know how you're feeling about the game. Final teams will drop at 5, so very curious to see what we go with. Thank you very much, Saners. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care, and as always, go you mighty Saners. See you guys.